All right, so I think we're live now. Can everyone hear me properly? Sorry for a small delay there. Okay. I think there was a small problem with the network there. So, uh, if you can hear me, you can let me know in the chat, I guess. Uh, okay. I think we are live. I think it's fine now, I guess. Just a minute. Just a minute, guys. I think I lost the live chat. I don't know where's the Windows gone. Let me see. I think I lost the live chat. Where where has the live chat windows gone? Oh man, all this. Let me try refresh it again. Just a minute. Okay, I think the live chat is back. Can everyone hear me properly? Please type yes or something in the chat so I can be sure that everyone can hear me properly and stuff. Okay, can everyone just type in the chat just to confirm whether you can hear me properly and the connection is fine for all of you? Just before I get started, we hear you. Okay, great. How's the image? Like how's the video, the voice, the tech, everything? Let me know in the chat. All right, so I guess everything is good, going well. Well, apologize for that. I don't know. Today seems a little bit weird. Whole day actually. Here, the network was not quite good today due to some reasons. Okay, so welcome all you to my third live stream here on the channel. Just for just for the one who just joined for the first time, here I'll be kind of divided into two parts. So the first is will be what's new in SEO. Basically, I'll go through a bunch of new stuff, what happened the last week up to today, on the website called SEO Roundtable, which is one of the most popular SEO news website, which you can obviously check it out. and second part will be the live Q&A section where you can definitely ask your questions, or even let me do a quick site audit for you as well, like a quick 30,000 foot view if you have any website that you'd like me to do a public audit here. Okay, so without further ado, let's kind of dive into the SEO roundtable and see what's new in SEO this week as well as from the previous week. Okay. In the meantime, if you have any questions, you can just leave it in the chat and I'll come back and answer them. And also, don't forget that you can also leave me your website link as well, so I can have a quick look. Okay, so actually I haven't gone through any news today due to I was a little bit busy, but this is an interesting news that Google basically blocked 3.1 billion ads, and so as you can see right now, if you want to run your Google ads nowadays, you have to basically give a proof of your business, right? Like such as your business information and etc. etc. So and there has been lots of fraud Google ads accounts over the past few years, and this is one of the ways that Google has come out to basically combat this. And this is interesting to see the numbers that there are like 6.4 billion ads that are restricted, and about 1.7 million advertisers. So that's quite a huge number there. And that was the stat of 2020. And what's else here? Um, oh yes, another news that last week I reported that Google basically they basically took away most of the feature snippets. This week the feature snippet seems to be back now to where it used to be. So if some of you might have lost your traffic over the past I don't know, maybe the past 2 weeks or so, and you don't have to worry about that because Google has brought back the feature snippets. Most of the feature snippets that were lost a couple of weeks back were almost back 100% this week. And John Mueller basically says that there was really no reason as to why they would take away that. It could be just normal fluctuations in the algorithm or stuff like that. So to some extent I was kind of thought that they were more promoting the ads and like less of the organic. But I don't know, like nowadays algorithm is kind of weird. Every week, every day or so, you will see lots of fluctuations up and down, right? Like it's just going crazy nowadays. So just keep an eye on your rankings. And this is an interesting poll that was conducted on March 15th. Which says that 60% of SEO says SEO is harder than 5 years ago. And this is a small pie chart here. So about 24.8% says that it was same. About 60% said it was harder, and about 15.8% said SEO is now easier. So what do you guys think about SEOs? Is it getting harder, or if for the one who just start doing SEO, what do you think? Is it hard? Is it easy? Let me know in the comment. Okay. And okay, so this is the stat for the ads. Basically, there's nothing really new here in SEO this week, or from past week or so. But yeah, the just to let you know that one is the Google feature snippet are now almost back, and secondly, the SEO poll there. So that's all for the news for this week and last week. Now let's get to the questions and answers as well as the quick SEO audits for today. Okay, so let me ask a couple of questions already here. A couple of questions were submitted. DJ Norris asks, how do you like to do content clusters? How do you well, for content clusters basically means organizing your website into into like a different topics, right? So let's say your web design website. So obviously you would want to create multiple pages, or yeah, multiple pages related to your web design website. So this will come from your keyword research, right? So that could be things like your SEO service page, your Google, your PPC service page, etc., etc. And what you would want to do here is you want to kind of connect them up using internal links, right? So all of your sub pages, or so basically you will have like something like a tree structure, right? So maybe I'll bring up the paint and I can explain a better, better visually. So um, let me see. I'll bring up the paint and I'll kind of explain to you how I kind of do the clustering. So basically here, so here you would have your home page, right? So your home page will represent, either the most profitable keywords for your website. And so this would be, something like web design, your plus city name, stuff like that. And you would have, multiple sub pages, that are related to your main service or your main keyword here. So this could be something like SEO service, PPC service, etc., etc. And then all of these, pages will link back to the home page, as well as the home page will also link back to all these sub pages, right? So this will create like a cluster. And also, these sub pages can also have multiple, sub pages under them as well. So this will kind of like support all these sub pages, right? So this could be, your blog content, right, that are related, or your sub service under each of these services as well. So you would kind of connect them up using internal links, and this will kind of form like a cluster, right, of your keywords. So you can think of like a tree structure, stuff like that. Also, not just internal links, by external link as well, like building backlinks to all of your, not all, but some of your service pages or your main cluster pages can also help distribute the relevance as well, like throughout the website, the authority throughout the website. And that will help bring up your cluster authority and cluster relevancy as well. Sacha D asked, I created city landing pages months ago. I'm only beginning to rank for the cities near me, near my GMB address. Coincidence? I need to rank for cities further away, but my pages are not ranking. Well, that's a great question. And from what I've seen here is that GMB does play some, up to some extent, a small role in basically influencing your rankings. So whatever the page that that is connected to your GMBs, you might see a better a better rankings. And although I have not tested this out personally, but from some of the local SEO experts, they kind of claim that Google My Business does somehow influence your rankings, as well as indexation as well. So they recommend that if you want to get your city page indexed faster, one of the ways here is to connect your website to Google My Business. Now, if you want to kind of influence other pages as well, right? You might want to maybe internal link from that main page that is ranking well currently to all of those pages, right? That you want to improve the rankings, and that will may somehow, make the GMB's authority and relevance and stuff like that flow to other pages that you want to rank as well. So yeah, but apart from that, it might be coincident, but I doubt it is. So GMB does play a role, yes, to some extent, although not much, but definitely. Sacha D recommends ask, sorry, would you recommend getting a virtual office, the city I want to rank for, and change my GMB to it? Nope, I wouldn't. I mean, if the GMBs that you already set up is somehow already in the main. Okay, just a minute. Okay, so you want to change your address, right? So to the city where you want to rank, and you get a GMB to it. Actually, you can do that, but it's not the optimal way. Basically, like I said, it hardly influences, although there might be some influence, but obviously there is a better way to that, right? Like you could just do an internal link from your main page that is already ranking to your other pages, or you can just build some links to it as well. And obviously there's more to it. Like basically we have to kind of look at the page and see why it's not ranking, stuff like that. There could be more reasons to it as well. But I doubt that by building GMBs and that alone will help. So but obviously if you want to do it, then you can obviously do it. But if I were you, I wouldn't do it. It may not be the optimal way, basically, to to first find the virtual address, a virtual office, and pay for it and stuff like that. uh Akula asked how to learn SEO from you. I schedule consultation with you tomorrow 10:30 a.m. Oh, really? I didn't get that. Uh, I'll have to check my email. Sorry. But really, in the consultations, I'm not really teach. I do teach up to some extent, but it's an hourly consultation, so it's more or less of like going through your website, and it's mostly for people who have been ranking up for some times, and suddenly, let's say, saw drops in any of the updates, or they're just looking for some solid strategies to rank their new website, stuff like that. So it's more or less like very specific case scenarios, some stuff like that. But if you're looking for like to learn everything in those consultations, I wouldn't recommend, because it may not be ideal, really, right? Because it's just an hour consultation, you wouldn't obviously learn everything from that. But I do have a course on Skillshare. It's very affordable, and there I do teach a lot of things that that I follow by my that I that I do. Like I basically so I do what I preach, basically. So you can basically check out my course on Skillshare as well. There, I think it is much more optimal. It is optimal way to basically learn if you're just starting from scratch or stuff like that. Uh, DJ Norris said that was an excellent explanation. No, you're welcome. And Sacha, I hope that answers your questions. If you would like me to clarify more on it, I would love to do that. DJ Norris asked, "You have any recommended updated books or sources for SEO learning?" Nope, I don't have any books. I have never read any SEO books before. Although I do. I mean, although I found that like some people do recommend a certain books, but I wouldn't read a book in the first place, because SEO is always changing, and like every quarterly or so, right? Like every 3 months or so, Google just come up with new things. So um, I wouldn't recommend books, first of all, but obviously books are good for beginners. So if you're looking to learn concepts or fundamentals, those are like evergreen. But for deeper knowledge and sources for learning, I would say YouTube is the first place to really get started. And a couple of Facebook groups you can join. There are lots of good Facebook groups out there that people just share knowledge. And mostly is do it yourself. And mostly just do it yourself, and like you basically try to like absorb as much knowledge as possible from different places, and try and test it out on your website. And you will learn better that way. That is basically how I did it. I learned like that, basically, because really, to be honest, like none of the information that I got are like 100% relevant. So at the end of the day, you still have to adapt to your own methodologies and stuff like that. uh DJ Norris says, "I'm going through your course right now." All right. Let me know if you have any questions. You can obviously join the student Facebook group. I have there is a private group. I also mentioned in the course as well. You can definitely join the group and ask questions there as well. Or, sometimes I do come around on Discord. I can also answer some of the questions there. Although this week I've been a bit busy, so I wasn't online that much. Like couldn't come up in the chat. But yeah. Q said, "Hey, what's up? Yeah, hi Q, how are you? Yep, long time no see there." Akula said, "Any course you have?" Yeah, I do have a Skillshare course. You can go to Skillshare.com and search for you can search for Tech Jackie there, or you can search for SEO course. I think I ranked pretty well there as well, although I didn't intend to do it. But yeah, I do have a course there. Q asked, "Do you update your course, or does it contain everything you've learned?" Yeah, I've just recently updated. I mean, in the beginning of the videos, you must have watched, the what do you say? You must have watched the introduction video, right? Yeah, in the introduction videos where I just explained, that I just recently updated. It was updated in December 2020, so it's very much up to date. And in the future, of course, I plan to update it further, if there's more, like, more knowledge, but or more new trend coming up, stuff like that. But yeah, like I said, SEO is constantly changing, so obviously some of the knowledge will have to go away, some of the new knowledge will come up, so I'll try to update them as frequently as possible. Akula said, "Give course details." I don't remember the link. Um, Let me go to Skillshare. Let me see here. I don't even remember the classes you're teaching. Uh, okay, so basically I have three courses here. First a local SEO course, so it's more specific to local SEOs. And second one here is the SEO course. So this is more like a general SEOs. So both of them contain pretty much the same information. Just here a little bit of extra stuff on Google My Business, and here may contain a little bit of more information that may not be here. When it comes to general SEOs. And here's a third course, which is just a quick course on SEO fundamentals. So here I go through some of the concepts that will help you understand these two courses better, basically. But do you need this first? It's not necessary, but it is highly recommended. Anyway, if you sign up for Skillshare, you can get access to all the course within your subscription, so you can go through all the three courses as well. So here are all of my three courses, and you can search there, right? So just search here: local SEO course 2021, SEO training 2021, and SEO fundamentals. So these are the three courses. I mean, this is one of the reasons why I like Skillshare is you get unlimited access to all the courses, as long as you're subscribed. So you can go through all of them, or you can choose any one of them. I mean, these two are almost the same, basically, just a little bit of extra here in Google My Business, and maybe a little bit of extra here, in the general SEO tip, stuff like that. Sacha asked, would adding external links on your site to authorities help? Like if you insert a relevant Neil Patel blog. Uh, I have really not tested out this one, but I mean, according to the SEO best practices, it might be, but really, to be honest, I don't really I do add them from time to time, but not for the ranking purpose, but for the for references, for the users. So, but I doubt it would do anything really. I doubt. So you can add them, not a big deal if you're looking to to just cite a resource for users to know, like, where you're getting information from, stuff like that. But I don't really, but if you're doing it for ranking purpose, I doubt it helps really. But from the best practices point of view, it they recommend it. So you ask, what's the difference between the 6 hour course and the 5 hour one? Yeah, I just explained that. So one is the local SEO, one is like more specific, one is the SEO in general. Sacha asked, what's your opinion on having duplicate content across landing page? So here's the thing. You can have them up to some extent, but once you cross certain threshold that Google kind of have on your website, like I said many times, not all website is treated equal. Some website may get away with certain things that you might not be able to. That depends on multiple factors, but mostly is authorities, or yeah, authorities, basically, like how popular the website is, how authoritative it is, etc., etc. So when you compare your website, right, on any aspect, don't compare with any website that is way bigger than yours, right? Find anyone that is similar authoritative, like basically, like maybe a little bit of you can look at authoritative from the domain authority perspective, or domain rating perspective. That should kind of give you a rough idea of the authority factors, but obviously there are more to it. Basically, authority comes with the power of the links and the traffic, right? Overall traffic to the site, and of course the brand signal and how popular the brand is on online. So with that being said, it depends on your website. If you're like already a big website, already popular authority website, you can obviously have like thousands of duplicate content, and you might still get them all indexed, get them all rankings. But if you're kind of new, or your website is like like a small player there, I would say try to make them somehow a little bit, unique up to some extent. I mean, obviously you can duplicate them up to certain like numbers, but you will kind of notice that after certain threshold, after certain number of pages, you might, find those difficult to get indexed, or might find those a little bit difficult to rank. So as a rule of thumb, just try to keep them a little bit unique. At least 40% unique is what you would be looking for. And once your site start growing in all the authority factors, then obviously you can go a little bit more black hat, a little bit more spammer, spammy. You can call it like that. Hope that answers your questions. Okay, any one of you would like me to do a quick site audit, you can just drop the link here, and I'll do a quick audit on it. Q asks, are you planning to make another real SEO client series on YouTube or Skillshare? Probably, but like it would also depends on if the client would like to disclose their websites, which in most cases they don't. But like I already told you, that client was kind of like my cousins in a way, that so he allowed that. So it was a coincidence. It was, yeah. But in most cases they don't want to disclose their websites, so I doubt that would happen anytime soon. But I will see. All right, so here we are having 7 concurrent viewers, so um a little bit better than last week. A little bit better than last week. I think last week we had like 5 or 6, stuff like that. Some of the regular viewers also didn't join today, so maybe they'll come later, I'm not sure. Sasha asked, do you think adding other service pages to my web design website would help the overall SEO, like adding logo design page, maintenance page, etc., etc.? Well, that, I mean, I wouldn't add any, like you should treat every page on your website as a ranking page, right? If it doesn't serve any purpose, just don't add them for sake of SEO. I mean, and I don't think it will help, like, unless those pages actually bring you ranking, bring you traffic, etc., etc. So that will kind of help your overall website. If you're doing it for the sake of content cluster, like what I kind of explained earlier, I wouldn't do that really. So yeah, if you offer these services like logo design, maintenance, etc., etc., then you can obviously add them, and if you plan to rank for them, of course. I like asking questions. I also like answering questions as well. So, and like you're basically lucky because not many people actually kind of know about this live stream. So many of you are basically getting lots of attention. But I don't know if the channel grows in the future, so who knows, right? Like, let's say if I'm having right now 100 concurrent viewers, I wouldn't be able to answer all the questions for sure. So just take the opportunity now and ask as many questions as you want. Hopefully, maybe in the future, if the channel grows, then you won't then I might not be able to answer every question. So yeah, I mean, obviously I'm not really looking to, like, I'm not really focusing on this anyway. It's just kind of fun, like joining, like doing the live stream and answering questions and basically engaging with the viewers. So I know, like, I just find it kind of fun to do. So, and also, I'm kind of free at around this time, so why not, just come up for maybe an hour or something and answer some of your questions. But again, like I mentioned, I might not be able to do this every Wednesday, but I'll try my best to come up on, to do like this. Sometimes, I might be busy doing other stuff and like that. So, but yeah, for some of you who don't know, I actually go live like this on every Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. EST. So if you want to join, then you can obviously join every Wednesday like this. And the live stream will go on for about an hour 10 minutes, stuff like that. Yeah, or even could be a little bit more than that or a little bit less than that. So it depends, right? If I have more questions, I might stay longer. If I had less, I might go out, I might get off faster as well. Sasha said it's been up for 2 months and not ranking, but it is indexed. So okay, so what do you mean by not ranking? Like not in the first 5 pages or not even in the top 10 pages? So you have to see like that. But obviously, 2 months, for most of the keywords, for the money making keyword, most of them you're not going to see the first page ranking in the first 2 months for sure, unless you're a already big established website. So maybe can you give me a little bit of more context to that? But again, like I said, there are whole lots of things that could go wrong with the rankings. Without having a look at the page, it's very hard to say really. But first of all, I would like to maybe know how old is your website and what is kind of like current situations. Then I will be able to tell you that, okay, for this kind of website at this point, is it normal for it not to rank, not to be ranking after 2 months or something? So yeah, yep, like it could be a new website, right? So 2 months is obviously a very short amount of time. It could also be an old website without much activity going on, and that could also be why it's not ranking as well. So I have to kind of know what's the current situation of the website so I can tell that, okay, is it normal or not? Not even the top 50. Um, yeah, maybe you kind of have to, like I said, have to look at the website, have to look at the page. But yeah, like that. Some of the landing pages are ranked 30 since 2 months ago. Some are not, like 50 that one I linked. Um, yeah, like not every keyword is the same, right? So maybe for those ranking already, that already ranking is much easier are like much easier keywords, right? Whereas those others are not. Website is 2 years old. Again, age is one factor for sure, but have to look at overall site to really get an idea. So if you can pop in your link in the chat, I can maybe do a quick audit on it if you want to. Or if you don't want, then maybe you can send me the link. Uh, you can send me the link privately if you want. I can maybe do a quick look. I just started SEO 2 months ago. Okay. Yeah, so I can't really give you any answers right now. Like, I don't want to even, guess on it because it could be dangerous, right? Like if I go ahead and say like, oh, your website is not having enough link or stuff like that, go buy more links. It could even harm you further, right? So I don't want to make any guessing right now. But if you can send me the website link after this is over, I can maybe have a quick look on it if you want, or if you want, I can also drop the link here as well. I don't want to, give you uh, some wrong judgment here, just by guessing like that. It could prove dangerous, could prove to be dangerous as well. Which most of the SEO will say like, oh, go buy more links and you rank stuff like that. It could be just some simple on page that you might not be tweaking well as well, right? So okay, we're on like 7 concurrent viewers. Guys, ask questions. I'll be here for another, I think, 15 or 20 minutes, or 15 to 20 minutes, yeah, around that. And so, yeah, you can also drop the link. I might even stay a little bit longer today due to some technical issues that I had earlier. So that kind of, slow down a little bit. So maybe around 20 minutes, I would say 20 to 25 minutes. So 8 concurrent viewers, seven, kind of fluctuating around 6, 7, and 8 viewers. Q asked, did you do the weekly SEO news? Yep, I already finished that. Like today was a little bit fast, quicker than usual because there was not many things. But to kind of give you a summary of what happened in the past, over the past few week or the past week up until today. So first, the feature snippets are almost back, like up to the level where they were before. Like if you remember last week, I mentioned that most of those feature snippet have gone, right, and Google kind of promoted their advertisement, their ads, stuff like that. So this week, luckily, those numbers are back again according to the measuring tools, right? So there's a tool out there. I don't remember the name, but it's by Moz. I think they do, like they do keep track of all these. So according to their tools, the number of feature snippets are almost back to where they were before. Secondly, I also went through that Google reported that in 2020 they I think they basically, I think they shut down like 1.7 million Google Ads accounts, and also restricted, like, I don't know, up like a billion or something ads, right, stuff like that. And thirdly, I also talked about the poll that was conducted on Twitter, asking people, how difficult SEO is compared to about, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago or something. And 60% of the people said that SEO is now more difficult than it was about 5 years ago. So yeah, only this much news we have this week. Sasha said it's not letting me add a link. Oh yeah, you can't add a full link. What you can do here is you can add the name of the website and give it some space, and put something like a dot, or write dot and then write com, right? So make like separate them. So the domain name and then dot com, stuff like that. I don't know, like, I think you can is there any, I don't know, like some people say you have to turn off the restriction or something. I'll try to find that. But as for now, yeah, you can send something like, website name .com, like that. DJ Norris asked, I'm looking at one of my site in Google Search Console, and the homepage is showing valid and index on coverage tab, but on the URL inspection tab, it says URLs are not is not on Google. Is this normal? Um, okay, so it could be that the coverage report is not, they don't update it basically regularly. So I think they update it, I think every 2 weeks or something. So at this point, that URL may already got de-indexed, right? So what you can do here is you can go to google.com and type in site colon the URL, right, of your page, and you can see here, you can see whether that page is still indexed or not. But I think according to the inspection tab, if it says that it is not on Google, I think it already got de-indexed. So the way to kind of confirm is to go to Google and type in site and colon operators and the full URL, including the trail, what do you say, the backslash trails. I think that's what you call it. Full URL there with the HTTPS as well. Check it and see if it's still in the index or not. I mean, sometimes these tools, sometimes Google Search Console can also report, like, have some false, report some false stuff. But yeah, inspection tab is one of the most trusted place, really. But I would kind of do this and check it again, just to confirm. It shows up in the site. Okay, so yeah, it is still there, but it could be. Is there any more message there showing? Like, if you click on expand, does it shows anything more extra than that? Like, maybe the canonical is not properly set or stuff like that. Because sometimes what happened here is your page, like, I explained this in one of, I think in my first live stream, is that there seems to be two there seems to be two index, that Google seems to have two index, what do you say, index level. So one is the primary index and second one is the supplementary index. So the primary index here is where all the search results are shown, right? When you type in the keyword and all the search results are shown in the search result, those are called as primary index. Whereas supplementary index here means your page will not show up anywhere in the top 10 or top 20 pages. But if you do the site colon and URL here, you will still see it indexed there, right? So it means that your page is not trusted enough by Google, so they're not showing you for the keyword that the page wants to rank for, but the page is still in the index. So you might want to maybe check the search console further and see if there's any, what do you say, any impressions going on with that URL or not. So you can go to the performance report and filter out only for that URL and see what's the impression for that URL. Is it growing or is it just completely dead? If it's just completely dead, then I would suggest you go back to the page and try make it better, like, not add more content, but see if you have properly targeted the keyword and stuff like that. Optimize that page again, and also add more internal links from other pages, preferably from the home page, because I would assume that is the most important page on your website, the page that has the most number of links going to it, the most number of citations or whatever. Also internal link to that page as well, and wait for maybe a week or so and check again the impressions of how that page is doing in the search results. Sasha asked, does that driving local traffic to a city landing page help it rank? um, yes and no. I mean, it can if the traffic is high quality enough, if people actually engage with your website. But if they just go and bounce off, then no, it won't. It might, I mean, it might, even if it's a low quality traffic, it might help maybe. But if they really engage with your content, then that's a very good signal there. My homepage is showing 27 impressions since I started it 3 weeks ago. Okay, so is, like, you said you start 3 weeks ago. Is it a brand new website? If it is, then that's very normal. If it's not, then you might want to recheck that website. Sasha also mentioned that he also have pages up in the site URL but not indexed according to Search Console. Yeah, I would I would check and see the page. Okay, so besides from the 27 impressions that you're having there, Norris, are they showing for any keyword, or is just 27 there with no keyword at all, like basically nothing showing up? Because even if there's some impression, there should also be some keyword, right, that shows that triggered those that triggered the impressions, right? um so that's the thing. DJ Norris said, new website is just weird that coverage tab and your inspection tab don't match. Yeah, it happens. Like I said, the coverage tab doesn't get updated regularly. I think it is updated every 2 week or so. So maybe that page is maybe dropped out from the primary index because it is a new page, new website. So Google doesn't still doesn't trust that page enough. Give it some times, right? Give it some time. Start building some links to it, like citations, right? Like those basic links, right? Don't really think about don't have to think about those big guest post stuff like that. It's not really required right now. So start building some citations. Claim your Google My Business, and over a period of time you should start seeing it should start appearing in the primary index. Basically means when someone does a search for your keyword, your page should start showing up maybe on the 8th page, 9th page, or 7th page. It doesn't really matter, but it should really start showing up there in the primary index, like I explained. DJ Norris says there are queries showing down in the below table. Oh, that's good. Then yeah, it's normal there. Start building those citations and you see more impressions going up. The graph in the search console should be constantly growing up, right? It should not be going up and flat down. It can go up and down every day or so, but the overall trend, right, the graph should be up, going up, like in stuff like something like that. So that should be something that you should be expecting. Should I re-index then? No, you don't really have to. I mean, sometimes the search console, if it's already indexed there, I wouldn't bother much about it. Just leave it like that. You can obviously re-index them, but I don't think it will make any difference. Or other than maybe now reporting to you that okay, it is now in search, it is now in the Google, right, in Google search results. You can obviously do that, but I don't think it will make any difference in as far as the ranking is concerned. Everything. Just continue working on it and start building some citations. That should be the first stuff that you should be looking now, if you already properly optimize every page on the website. And also get some activities, right, like what Sasha mentioned, traffic can also help. Get something, like get the ball rolling, right, get some activities, links, traffic, stuff like that, and that will help page growth. You're looking for something like 2 to 3 weeks really after you finish all those stuff. But obviously you can also go like this without building anything, without doing anything, and it will still rank, but it will just take more times. We are talking about like 2 or 3 months at least to really start showing for the queries you want to rank in the impressions, not in the ranking obviously. Okay, now we're having only 3 concurrent viewers. Maybe some of the people have already left. I have done a lot of local business stuff, GMB, Yellow Pages, social media, etc. Okay, so yeah, if you already done finished those, then uh Then what you can do here is you can you can run some press release. That also helps a lot. It makes a lot of difference. Just a small tip here, do press release for everyone that is kind of struggling to get the new website ranking or new pages. I mean, I would do it just once, press release to the homepage, that's it. And for the anchor text, just use your brand or your URL. Don't use any keyword anchor text in the press release. Other than that, it also depends on the keyword difficulty, right? Like if you're targeting like quite difficult keyword, obviously the impressions won't go up that fast. So you might want to give it more time. Like you said, only 3 weeks, so 3 weeks is still very less. So yeah, that also depends on the keyword as well. But as long as it's still showing up for some queries in the impressions, that is a good sign at least. You should not be seeing something like dead, right? Like index, but like showing like for maybe like one or two impressions and like zero queries or very few queries there. So at least you're having some impression there. That's good. Sasha said, I'm gonna get a LinkedIn bot to view 100 of local profiles a day, drive local traffic to my site. Uh, I mean, I personally haven't tested any bots for SEO, but from what many people actually have done and tested it, they all almost say the same, that bots don't help with anything whatsoever. Maybe a few of them, like out of 10, maybe I think maybe one or two of them might say, okay, it did help to something, but the majority of them really reported like nothing from the bots. So I wouldn't bother, like using bots at all. Like remember Google, they make money from ads, right? They make money from basically they've been in the industry like since forever, right? Really not that old, obviously, but their main primary way of making money here is through ads. So they have to constantly fight with bots, right? With all the fraud clicks and stuff like that. So they really know what a bot is, right? So they know you won't even imagine, you can't even imagine how Google knows about you. Even in the incognito window, they also track you there as well. They know everything about you. Especially like like here I'm gonna tell you a small story here. Basically last week I got one domain name which is almost going to expire, right? So I kept on getting this email. Like I use Gmail, right? So I kept on getting this email from the hosting provider, reminding that you should pay for the hosting and stuff like that. And without ever without ever actually tell Google Assistant on my phone to keep track of this or to remind me of this, Google Assistant, just suddenly, give me a notification saying that your domain is expiring in like 2 days or one day, stuff like that. So basically, the system here reads my email, right, without me ever, even telling it to do it, right. So that's quite scary as well. Like, so yeah, Google knows everything about you, what you do, and stuff like that. 90% of internet runs on Google, so they know what a bot is. So don't really bother using it. It won't really help you with anything, and it could even potentially hurt you as well. So don't do it. Norris said, thanks for the help. You're welcome, Norris. You can let me know if you have any more questions. And you can also join the Facebook group, like I mentioned, for the students there. Because I'm kind of active more on Facebook. So you can if you have any questions, you can post there, or I'll try to answer in the Discord chat as well whenever I come online. um so yeah. that hosting spam just happened to a new client of mine yesterday. He called me freaking out. Okay, so your client, Google Assistant also kind of notifying your client that the domain or hosting is about to get expired or something. Because like I said, I didn't tell Google Assistant to remind me that my domain is about to get expired in 2 days or 3 days. But suddenly Google Assistant just gave me a notification that you have your domain name is expiring in 2 days. Please renew it. I mean, like, do you also read my Gmail without me also telling you to do it? I mean, by like, should respect privacy, right? I mean, if you look at the news right now, Google is constantly facing with lots of privacy issues, right? Like, only very currently, that they're like, I think they're being fined like $5 billion US for for keeping track of users on Google on the incognito windows. And and also last year they also had many issues with regarding privacy as well, like things like keeping track of user activities on search results or stuff like that. So lots of issues now going on, lawsuit going on with Google right now. People just started to come up, right? All these things started to surfacing. But let me I'm just gonna tell you that Google really keeps track of each and everything you do online. They have everything, right? Like Google Chrome, Android, Gmail, what else? um, Google search, right? Google search, and obviously Google Drive, everything. Like, they keep track of everything, your activities, your stuff, your online activities. And that is how they be able to target your ads, right? Your ads. So just just like Facebook ads, right? So like when you run using your pixel, your Facebook pixel, Google can also do the same by keeping track of everything you do online, and they're pretty accurate as well. And that's why, if you read the news again, next year Google Chrome will stop supporting third-party cookies, right, on the browsers. And they're saying that they have a new method of keeping track of this called FLOC, right, flock. They even claim that that will not keep track of any user specifically, but still will be able to give 95% accuracy when it comes to ads targeting, which means they already have enough data about us that they don't really need to keep track of us using browser cookies now. Think about that. While other companies are kind of struggling right now, trying to find ways to come up with new, with replacement for cookies, Google said we don't need cookies. We already know enough about you. So think about it. Norris says the client almost sent a check in the mail before they called me. Yeah, just keep an eye on this naughty Google Assistant. I mean, they're spying on everyone's phone right now. Basically Android users. So beware of that. All right, so 5 more minutes, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. Otherwise, I'm leaving in 5 minutes or so. And also, if you would like me to kind of change the way the live stream is, you can also let me know as well. Like, maybe in the future I might do something like website reviews, if I can find any good website where I can take as an example of bad SEO or website stuff like that, or any other format that you'd like me to do. Also let me know as well in the chat. I'll try to consider them. But as of right now, it is called as SEO live show, where I'll be doing, I'll be going through regular news, SEO news, and also do quick Q&A or something like this. Harjo said too much data for even Google to handle. Yup, I mean, they already have enough data for us that they don't even have enough storage to store them. Norris says, thank you for your time. I have to go give an interview. You're welcome, Norris, and good luck to your interview as well. Anyway, the live stream is about to get over, so thank you for joining as well. Okay, any more questions, guys? Or I'll leave now then. Arjo said running out of hard drives, I presume. Yeah, probably. Like storage is not cheap, right? Storage comes with a cost. So, um, but surprisingly, almost every quarter that Google reports their revenue, there seems to be profiting, right? Even last year during the pandemic, they were still reporting profit. So Google is just growing and growing. It takes 15 to 20 seconds for text to reach your chat. Yep, that is basically what happens here. um, it happens to every YouTube live streams, I presume. I mean, that's what I've noticed as well. But some people say Twitch is faster, and maybe because Twitch is specifically built for live streaming, whereas YouTube is not. So, yep. Google search video by Google. Google search video by Google. I'm not really sure about that. Sasha said, "Thanks. You're welcome." And by the way, I thought you were female until until I saw your profile picture, Sacha. I mean, isn't that a female name there, or what? Okay, so I think that's all for today's. And if you have any more questions that you would like me to that you'd like to ask me, you can leave in the comment section after this live stream ends, and I'll come back to the comment and answer all of your questions. This live stream will be available maybe after about 24 hours on publicly, but you can obviously access the stream and rewatch again using the link. And thank you everyone for joining, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Have a great day or night, and happy rankings for all of you guys.